Welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial we'll be going over the basics of the Linux commands. So let's begin. Most people think that Linux is a very difficult system to use, like operating system, because it does not provide you with a lot of graphical user interfaces like Windows or Mac. But Linux is very good operating system. It's very powerful, but the only thing is that you have to master how to use the command line. That is the only way you can be comfortable using Linux. So to get started, I will teach you 20 basic commands that you're supposed to know as a basic Linux user. So let's begin. To open the terminal, we simply press Ctrl, Alt and T. So this will open up my terminal. So this is my terminal. I'm here. So by default, we need to know who we are. Like the first command that you're going to learn is who am I. Who am I command, it shows us the current user that we are. So if I run that, I can see that my current user that I'm using is named Prince. So this is how you can know the current user. So after that, we know the current user. To do this, we use the who am I command. So that is the first command that you have learned. So let's move on to the second command. Now let's see the current directory that we are. So to do this, we just say print pwd, which stands for print working directory. This will show us the current directory that we are in. So if I run this, I can see I am in /home/prince. So that is the current directory that I am. So to get the current directory that you are at any time in Linux, you just type in pwd command, print working directory. So that is how to get the current working directory in which you are currently working at. So let's view the files within the current working directory. So this is our third command. So to do this, you just write ls, hit this. It will show you all the files that are within the current working directory. So in home/prince, we have these files. We have desktop, music, download, video, templates, snap and so on. So these are the non-hidden files. So this, to see the hidden files, we'll move on to the fourth command, which is ls-a. so this will show us all the hidden files. So all the ones having the dot before them are the hidden files. So this is how you view the files, both hidden and non-hidden files in Linux. So now you can see that our terminal is completely messy now. So let's get a new terminal. To do this, we move to our fifth command, which is clear. So clear, basically, it's self-explanatory. It clears the terminal. So if I run this, you can see we're back to a clean, fresh terminal. So that is our fifth command, clear command. So let's move on to the sixth command. The sixth command is change directory, cd. If you're coming from Windows or Mac, this is similar. So this will change for us the directory. So let's ls again to see the current files within our directory. So we have desktop. So let's change. So we will change to a desktop directory. So we have to follow its case sensitive. So writing desktop is different from writing desktop like this with a capital D. So these are two different commands, two different things. So Linux will treat them as two different things. And in our current directory, the directory that we have is a capital D, desktop. So we just move into that directory. So desktop, press ls. So now you can see that the desktop is here in blue. So this shows that the current directory that we are in. So let's ls to see what we have in our desktop. So on our desktop, we have one folder which is called coding. As you can see here, we have one folder called coding. So let's move on to our seventh command. Let's try to make a directory. So to make a directory in Linux, we use the mkdir command followed by the name of the directory that you want to make. So let's say you want to make a directory called testing. So we just go over here, testing. So this will create for us a directory on our desktop. So as you can see over here, we have a directory named testing. Okay, so let's move into that directory. Let's cd into that directory. So change, I want to move into the testing. Okay, So I'm in texting directory and I did an ls. We can ls to show us what is inside that directory. Currently we have nothing, so even if I open it here, okay, here you can see that there's nothing inside, so I just close that. So let's move on to our 8 command, which is the touch command. So touch command is used to make files in Linux. So if you come over here, you see that we can make folders, but there's no option to make a file whatsoever. So to make a file, you just have to go into the terminal, and this is very important command to remember. So you just type in touch, the touch command, and then followed by the name of the file that you want to create with along with this extension. So I want to create a txt file, so it's a file.txt. So this will create for us a txt file within our current working directory. So our current working directory is here, desktop/testing. So this is going to create a file for us named as file.txt within our testing directory. So if I hit this, we can, the file has been created, we didn't get any error. So let's ls, we can see that the file is in there. So even if I open it here using the graphical user interface, you can file. Now we have one file in here called called file.txt. So that is how you create a file using the touch command in Linux. So let's move on to our 9th command. Our 9th command is called the Nano. So the Nano command, Nano is actually a terminal based text editor. So if I just type in Nano and then followed by a name of certain file with along with this extension, we can see whatever content inside that file. So we are nanoing into our text, our file.txt, to see what is inside. Currently we have no text inside, so let's hit enter. This will open us to our Nano text edit, terminal text editor. You can see that we have nothing inside our file, so whatever we type here will be saved. This is, let's just type, this is the file. I'll just exit out, so I'll press Ctrl X and then I'll press Y. So exit as we do want to save the file as file.txt, I'll hit enter. So we are back, and then the content that you have typed into the Nano text editor has been saved. So to see this, let's move on to our 10th command, which is cut command. So if I type in cut and then the file name along with its extension, it will show us everything inside that file on the desktop and not in a Nano text editor. So if I hit enter, I have typed in this is the file, and here we can see this is the file on the terminal. So this cut is used to view contents inside the file without having to actually open the file in a Nano text editor or another kind of text editor. So now let's move on to our 11th command. Our 11th command, which is a cp command. Cp stands for copy. So it's self-explanatory. What it does is used to copy a certain file. So let's just view whatever we have in our current directory now. So we have one file in there. Let's say that we want to make another file which is called file 2, and we want to copy everything from file 1 to file 2. So to do this, we just type in copy the file you want to copy from, which is txt, file.txt, and the name of the file you want to copy to. So we want to copy to file 2.txt. So let's hit command. So this is done. So now we have copied everything from file.txt to file 2.txt. So this is the file that we want to copy from, and this is the file that we want to paste something to. So the cp command takes in two arguments. First, the place you want to copy from, and secondly, the where you want to paste that data. So now if I view my file 2.txt, I supposed to let's cut and then file 2.txt. So we can say this is the file. So we have copied everything inside from file.txt into file 2.txt. So let's move on to our next command, the 12th command, which is mv command. What does the mv command do? mv stands for move. It's used to move files and directories around. So let's try to move file 2.txt onto our desktop. So look at my desktop right now. You can see there's no file 2.txt. So I'm going to move it to my desktop right now. So I'll just type in your file 2 and then txt where I want to move it. I want to move it to the I want to move /home /prince, and then I want to move it to the desktop. Okay, the desktop. So if I hit this, enter, you can see that our file has now popped up here. So we have file 2.txt on our desktop, and when I look into my current folder testing, we can see that there is only file.txt because we have moved file 2 to the desktop. So that is the first use of mv command. The second use of mv command can also be used to rename a file. So let's rename file which we have in our current directory, file.txt, this one over here. Let's rename it to change.txt. So you can just say mv, so you say the file that you want to rename along with this extension, and then we want to rename it to change.txt. So if I hit this and ls, I can see that we have only one file, which is the change.txt, and the change.txt was previously file.txt. So we have renamed this, successfully renamed from file.txt to change.txt. So this are the two common uses of the mv command. It can be used to move files if you specify the directory where you want to paste it, or can be used to rename files if you just specify the file name along with its extension of the new name which you want your file to be. So the first one takes in the file and then the directory to where you want to move it, and then the second one takes in the file and then the file name, not the directory but the new name that you want to give it along with its extension. So you can see over here I have started from the root directory and I move from home to print and to desktop. This is currently not the way we do things, so to change this we can just like instead of using all of these commands, so let's move change to the desktop also, but using a simpler version of the directory tree that we have specified here. So to do this, we say move, and then we specify the root directory, which is this wave sign, and then the desktop. So the desktop, okay, desktop. Okay, so if I hit this, enter, okay, missing destination. Okay, sorry, I've made a mistake, so I didn't specify the file that I want to move. So the file that I want to move is actually change file. We have changed its name, so you say change.txt, which is this name over here. We are moving this file over here to the desktop. So if I hit enter, we can see now it has come over here on the desktop. So instead of specifying a whole root directory like this, you can just use a short version like this, whereby this wave sign starts from the root directory. So let's move on to our next command, which is the rm command. So I'll change my directory to go back into my desktop. So by putting two dots, we are getting the parent of the current working directory that we are in. So let me just show you what I mean by this. So if I print working directory, our current working directory is testing because it's the last one here. So we are in the testing. So the parent of testing is within desktop. It is over here, our desktop. It contains testing. So testing is within desktop, and desktop is within the user prince, and then the user prince is in home. So this is, so as we go up the hierarchy, each one is the parent of the previous one. So this is the child of this, and this is the child of this. This is the parent of this, is the parent of this, and this is the parent of this. So now if you just say change directory space two dots, you are telling that we should move back one directory. So we are going to move to the parent directory. So if I hit enter now, we have moved to the desktop, which is the parent of the testing. So now we are in our desktop. So if I ls, we are going to see we have four things, two folders, coding and testing, 1, 2, and then change file and file.txt, which are these guys over here. So let's come back here. Let's try to remove our change.txt. So this takes us to our new command, which is rm command space and then the file that you want to remove. So it's a file2.txt. So if I hit enter right now, we are going to remove file2.txt. so just keep a close eye on my desktop over here. We will soon see that the file2.txt is going to be removed. So if I hit enter, you see it's gone. So that is how you remove a directory, I mean a file. So you just let me also remove the change file again just for practice. So I have that. You see how I have typed that really fast. What I have just done, you just type few words, few letters of the file that you want to delete, and then you press the tab, it will autocomplete for you. So this is how you do autocomplete in Linux. You just type the first few characters of the file or the folder you want to work with, and then you press tab, it will delete it for you, it will autocomplete it for you rather. So if I hit enter, you can see now we have deleted both files from our desktop. So now this, we have used the rm command to delete files. Now let's use the rm command to actually delete a directory. So to delete a directory, we just say rmd -d, which stands for directory, and then -r. We use the -r in case we want to the directory is not empty. So just to demonstrate this, let me show you what you're going to do. So I'll change back into my testing, so our ls, and then I can see there's nothing inside. So inside our testing, let's make a new directory, mkdir. So we are going to call it testing2. So we have make a directory which is called testing2. So hitting this with ls, you can see that we have testing2 inside testing. So if I open this over here, we can see that we have testing2 inside of testing. So now let me move back to the desktop. So now I'm in the desktop. So ls, I can see I have two folders, coding and testing. So let me try to remove the testing folder. So just the rm dash is a directory, and then I'll go testing. So if I hit this will throw us as an error. So it tells us that the directory testing is not empty, directory not empty. So we can delete a directory that has other subdirectories or files inside of it. If we want to do that, that's why we use the -r. -r, you can think of it like recursion. So it goes a loop through and delete every subdirectory and every subfile within the testing folder. So it delete everything, no matter whether it's empty or it's full. So if you want to delete a folder completely and that folder is not empty, we use the -r command along with the rm command and rd command. So hitting enter, you can see that we have successfully removed the testing, despite the fact that it was containing something inside. So that's how you do that. So let's move on to another command. Okay, so the sudo command. Sudo stands for super user do. So if you want to see more about the specific command in Linux, like the sudo command, to do this is very easy. You just type in sudo and then --help, and then hit enter. So it will show you all the various commands that you can use with the sudo command. So I will leave this up to you. It's so complex, you can cover all of them, but just know that it gives you, sudo gives you super user privileges. It stands for super user do, means that it gives you the root access, like the privileges of a root user. That's what sudo usually does. So if you are working with a certain command and it asks you to have root privileges, simply just put sudo in front of that command. So sudo ls, it will do the same. Ls, you ask for a password, type in my password, you see it shows me that thing which I want. Ls, which I want the directories within the desktop, it gave me all that, but using the super commands gives me much more privileges. So if you are working with any installing a package or using the apt command or anything like that, and you ask for user privileges, I mean root user privileges, just simply use the sudo. So you can just find more about sudo by writing. Another way you can get help is using man and then the name of the command. This will give you like a really good documentation on how to use it. I prefer this compared to the help one, but if you just want a quick summary, you can use the help. And if you want to get out of this editing, you can just press Q, which will take you out of there. So this is how you can get help. This does not only work with sudo, it works with other command like ls. It will give you a documentation about ls. You can see there are many things that we didn't even cover about ls. You don't need to know all of this, but in case you are stranded in a certain situation, you can quickly just take a look at this. This can work with any command. So you just type man and then the name of the command, and I need to show you the documentation. So let's move on. We are going to learn the apt command. So the apt command is for installing packages in Ubuntu. There are many commands like apt, update. This will update your system, but I don't want to do that, it takes some time. You can also use apt upgrade. This will upgrade the system after you have updated it. Or you can also use apt install, and then here you specify the name of the application of the package that you want to install over here. So you just say apt install package. So for example, let's say let's install Kazam. Kazam is a video recording screencasting tool. So you just say Kazam. If you hit enter, it will tell you unable to, because I am not connected to the internet right now. You can see over here I'm not online. So unable to acquire the fronted backend. Are you root? So it's asking us if you are root. So I say to get root access privilege, you just use apt and then install Kazam. So mostly if you're using apt, you usually use it along with sudo super user do. So this is going to try to install it, but I've already installed it, so it has already told me the package is already installed. So this is how you install packages in Linux. So let me just clear the terminal. So sudo, another command which is apt, let's use it. Let's use mostly with sudo. So sudo apt, and then install. You've already covered install, remove this, remove, and then the package name. So this will remove the package name that you specify from your system. In case maybe right now I've installed Kazam, I want to remove Kazam, I'll simply type sudo apt remove and then followed by Kazam. This will remove that from my system, but I don't want to do that. That is all the commands that we have covered. And then one last command is the exit command. Exit command is sort of like explanatory. So exit to just exit the terminal and close the terminal. So if I hit enter, our terminal will be closed. So this brings us to the end of this tutorial. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you and you become a better Linux user. Please like, subscribe to my channel, like this video if it was helpful to you. Folks, subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next tutorial.